Karen, new question. When Katrina hit New Orleans, the governor of the state of Louisiana authorized the National Guard and the law enforcement to forcibly confiscate privately owned firearms. What emergency would cause you to support a like action in New Hampshire?
Absolutely nothing. I just picked up my Glock that I won last week.
Wish we knew that at the beginning.
It was exciting. I actually went to a foundation dinner, and they pulled my number, and I could choose between the Glock or the clock, and guess what I chose? So I don't think there's anything that you could do that would cause me to take away a citizen's right to bear arms and to defend their house, their family, or their property.
Thank you, Frank. Same question. In the New Hampshire House, they try to pass a bill to stop citizens from walking in, including representatives from carrying a weapon. I carried a weapon in the United States Army and guarded my American flag with a loaded .45, and I'm very proud of it. And I dislike people that disrespect my American flag. The other thing is, we do have the right to bear arms, and it should be stayed that way and kept that way. The only people I would disarm are our enemies of these United States of America. And I'm against the mosque in New York. I think it's nonsense. A friend of mine is a survivor. Thank God he made it. And I think the right to bear arms is just not that you can go and twiddle a .45 around. I liked it. After I served in the United States Army, in the Military Police Corps, I said, I really don't need a weapon. There's a better way. But that doesn't mean that everybody else does not have the right to bear arms. It's in the Constitution. It's in the New Hampshire Constitution. I have some books left. There's not enough money in the New Hampshire budget, representatives, to give them out to all the students. I have some left from last year. They're up there by where my table is. So please take whatever you want. And I think if you go through that, you'll understand some of the things that are said, what can really be done and what cannot be done by a governor, and understand your state law. The right to bear arms has to stay. Thank you, Frank. Jack? The Second Amendment to the United States Constitution in Section 2A of the state of New Hampshire gives us all the right to keep and bear arms. The state of New Hampshire's law, I think, is even broader than the Constitution. There's no question that I'm a major proponent of the Second Amendment. I'm a member of the NRA. I'm a member of the Gun Owners of New Hampshire, and I'm a prior military guy. United States Navy veteran, proud of it. So with me, there's nothing, no law, and we have some laws that they've attempted to put through, even through committee in the state of New Hampshire, that the Second Amendment's under attack in our state. This is the live free or die state. So as governor, I would absolutely push to repeal any legislation that infringes upon the Second Amendment and our rights to keep and bear arms, and I would veto any legislation and any attempt to try to impair it as well. But I'm going to add one thing to this. I would have the Castle Doctrine reintroduced, and we would get that put back in effect. And I would go one step further than that. We should all have the right to defend ourselves with deadly force if necessary, wherever we are in the state. We live in dangerous times. If you're at the mall, no different than if you're at home. In my view, if you're with your kids and something breaks out and you can save your children, yourself, or even some innocent civilians, that's what America's about to me. So that's something else I would do. Thank you. John?
Thank you. I mean, I would say to Governor Jindal, or if it was Governor Jindal, or any governor, what part of the words shall not be infringed do you not understand? I mean, that is a sacred part of our, again, values as American citizens. And as Jack says, our New Hampshire Constitution even gives our authority to you, or to you, the people, even more authority in terms of the right to bear arms and protect yourselves in your homes, and on your persons and possessions. Now, one of the things that is happening here that a lot of people aren't talking about is the New Hampshire legislature over the past few years has constantly been picking away at that right. And I, as governor, would stop it immediately and turn it around. What do I mean by that? First of all, look at the gun permit fees. The gun permit fees have all increased. substantially. At some point, you're going to increase those fees to the point where people are not going to want to go down and be able to protect themselves with a handgun permit, which is your right. And also, reciprocity among states is another issue that is of concern to me. And when I was the deputy commissioner at the Department of Safety, we fought with the legislature to make sure that we have reciprocal laws in place so that you could go into other states, again, to protect your rights. I'm a strong believer of the Second Amendment, and I would act that way as a governor. Again, working together with both parties to ensure that our constitutional rights are protected. And it's not only, issues that you see in the paper, in the High Castle Doctrine and the other issues. I'm talking about the small fee increases that they keep adding and adding every year. And I'm also talking about, what happened with Speaker Norelli this year and what happened to some of our legislators that want to exercise their rights. And as governor, I'm going to make sure they exercise their rights, and I'm going to make sure you all get to exercise your very rights. Thank you.
Thank you, John.